Hey everyone, welcome back. This is BPD Woman, and I am your BPD Woman host, Jen. On this channel, we talk about borderline personality disorder. Specifically, I talk about my experiences living with, managing, coping with BPD. And we also talk about DBT skills and life experiences. For those of you who are new, welcome back. Or welcome, rather. Welcome to everybody. Let's not be particular. Welcome, everyone. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate your comments and support. Wanted to do two short videos today. The first one I want to talk about a real world experience that I'm having this morning, where I want to talk about how I'm using some skills and walking through a little bit of the cycle of how worry can kind of catch away with itself. And then after this video, I'll post another video continuing our series on the DBT skills of mindfulness, which is a module of the first module of DBT. So again, I'm Jen. Welcome. I am a woman who's been living with BPD for the last 20 years since I was diagnosed. I have been through multiple rounds of DBT. I have every important text. I read all articles. I really keep up on other people's work. Dr. Daniel Fox, check him out. He has a really great workbook I highly recommend. He also has a YouTube channel. Videos are short, easy to understand, and his workbook's really been valuable. I have it. I'm not a PhD, psychologist, life coach. And while all of those are great, they don't know exactly what it's like to have BPD, do they? So, not to say that I couldn't survive without them, because certainly I couldn't have along the way. So today I want to talk about, I'm having a little bit of I want to work through this in real time. So I'm having a bit of a worry cycle the last couple of hours, maybe last half day. So, as I've kind of mentioned, some of my core content I think is the thing that makes you the most vulnerable or susceptible, or it hurts you the most, whether that's being alone or feeling worthless or feeling like you might not add up to someone else in your family, or the idea of never having enough money. Whatever your kind of core hurt is, think about that. For me, I think my core hurt is not feeling good enough to have friends, and the idea of feeling alone, and that I won't be a good friend or a good person, and they will not be my friend anymore. So I have a business. I have my own business, and I'm always mindful. I have my own dog walking business, pet sitting. And the other day, yesterday, I have a client who's become a friend. We've become good friends. And she's she's pretty quick on the text. And yesterday morning, she texted me. I was going to go over and see her dogs around 2 o'clock. And so I texted her around noon, letting her know when I would be over. And she's like, I'm getting a tattoo today, so if you don't hear from me, like, that's just what's going on. I was like, no problem. So I sent her a text at around noon. Didn't hear anything. Then I sent the report card from the dogs at 2. Didn't hear anything. Then I went home. I didn't hear anything. It got late. Normally I'll hear something by 8, 9 a.m. Today, the next morning, I sent a text to all my clients saying, hey, this is the time I'll arrive today. I'm looking forward to it, whatever. And, normally she's the first one to be like, yep, I'll be there. I'll be there. So, or she'll say, yep, okay, I got it. I'll see you later, or I'm off to work, or whatever. She'll say something. She'll be right on that text. Well, I haven't heard from her since about 10 a.m. yesterday, which is now about a whole 24 hours, which is not, I guess, totally unusual, but a little bit off baseline for her. So I start thinking why I haven't heard from her. Now, in my business, I write a report card, and I'm fair in my report card. I don't sugarcoat, a dog's bad behavior to the owner. I tell them exactly what happened. I said, if there's any behavioral issues, I note that. So, it's not all smiley faces and stars. And my clients appreciate that. They appreciate the detail that I put into these cards. They've told me so. And, my friend and client has a new dog who is a puppy and is not being put through training and has a lot of really bad behaviors. For instance, defecating in the basement. The other day when she was home, she said the dog just ran out the front door, pushed and went after a dog. It jumps. And so I asked her, obviously for all my clients, I would hope that their dogs have been through training. It obviously makes my job easier and safer. And she said, oh yeah, I'll teach you some of the things that I've taught the other dog. So it doesn't sound like some real formal training. Obviously if you have a dog, you know that it takes a lot of time and effort into training them. It's consistent. I have one and I'm still, every time I'm still reinforcing things. So, yesterday, I'm on a limited time. It was rainy. We were getting some of the hurricane yesterday of Zeta. And so it was super rainy. So, I let her know in my text earlier. I was like, I'm going to have to take each dog out separately. And so I took the first dog out, no problem. Came back in, let the puppy, not too much of a puppy. I want to say 10, 11 months. The puppy came out, jumped up, knocked all of her things off of this shelf under the TV. They were metal, they were loud, and I yelled, I was like, damn it, stop it, enough. And then it created this big mess, which, delays the walk. I have to clean something up. Now, of course, it's part of the job. And if it happened once or twice, okay, but this is kind of like a consistent thing. And so I think that my patience gets a little bit worn with this dog because it's, when you're walking two dogs and they're bigger dogs, safety is my issue. I want to bring that dog home just as safely as possible. And so, if a dog's not trained, that makes it a lot harder. It makes it easier for something to go wrong. And so I kind of have this heightened sense of stress now when I'm walking this dog because I have to be more vigilant about these things. So now I know she has cameras in the house. I have a camera in mine. That's no problem. I don't beat the dog. I don't squirt bottle the dog. I don't do anything like that. I don't believe in that. But I have yelled. So, yesterday, I yelled, it was brief, it was maybe 10 seconds, stop it, what the heck, enough. And then got her leashed and we had, then it was a fine visit. But I know that she has these, video, cameras, and I know she sometimes checks the videos because she tells me, she'll just check in on the dog sometimes. And, I didn't hear anything from her. And I put in a report card that, the dog had knocked over these things, but I'd cleaned it up. No big deal. So here we are today. Still haven't heard anything. And now I'm worrying. Here are the worries. She saw the video. She thinks I'm a piece of shit. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible dog walker. How dare I yell at her dog? Number one. Number two. She won't let me walk her dogs anymore, so there goes a source of income for me. Number three, I'm a bad person, and she doesn't want to be my friend anymore. Now, yesterday so those are the three things that are going through my head. I have done a personal inventory of myself, and I've said, okay, is what you did unacceptable? No. I don't think it's unacceptable. Is it the most ideal thing, to correct a dog? Or, if a bunch of things kind of came crashing down around you while you were trying to leash up two dogs, I think, you can understand that I would be frustrated. Did I do anything illegal? No. Did I do anything that I wouldn't do to my own dog? No. So I was like, okay, well, if she watched these videos, like, would I be embarrassed? And no, I don't think I'd be embarrassed, but like, I knew, I'd yelled. So, I didn't hear from her all day yesterday. That's fine. I left her. I knew she was going to be out. I thought, okay, don't get carried away. She's out. She's having a good time. She probably got home. She had to eat. She went to bed. She's tired, whatever the case may be. Then this morning I sent my text, letting all the clients know when I would arrive. I didn't hear anything back after about an hour or so. And I had texted her this morning. I was like, hey, like, how did your tattoo go yesterday? I made like a little funny. I was like, oh, did you get my face tattooed on you? Something like that. And she didn't, by the way. And after about another hour went by, like, I gave her a call because now I haven't heard from her in about 24 hours. And I was like, hey, just checking in on you. I watch a lot of investigative discovery. Like, hopefully you haven't been murdered. Like, are you okay? Now, I think what's happening here. Okay, and then I'm going to leave it at that. Like, I'm not going to text her anymore, like, except for when I send her a report card. Now the ball is in her court. I don't want to, like, send a bunch of, like, blue text and, like, not see any gray come back. So what's happening here? Well, clearly, I think the first thing is that I got triggered by a behavior that I did, which was anger, yelling at this dog, and I wasn't proud of that moment. Now, I must remind myself, okay, you've come a long way on your anger. You're working on your anger. It's okay sometimes. The dog's fine. Like, you recouped. You don't do this every time. You're really great. Your clients really love you. These are the things I have to remind myself when I hone in on that one negative thing, those negative tapes that talk to you. The second thing that I have to remind myself is, okay, is she mad? Who knows? I don't know. If she was mad, I tell myself, okay, does she have a right to be? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't have many options if you're not going to train your dog. Like, if your dog's not going to respond to training from you, it's certainly not really going to listen to me. So I started to think, well, would she just never talk to me anymore? Like, is she just going to ignore me? Like, this is not like her. And so, because I haven't heard from her as I normally do, I start wondering why. And so all I do is I go right back. I was like, oh, I yelled, so this must be the reason why. She checked those. I'm a piece of shit. She hates me. Okay, let's assume for a minute, like, this is what I'm thinking. Let's assume for a minute that that's true. That's what's going through her mind. Nothing I can really do about that, right? I mean, is it like, I guess I really don't know too many people who have not yelled at their dogs. I don't think it's not that they're bad people. I think you get annoyed and you yell at your dog. Okay, whatever. You get over it. You try not to do that again. Would that be a reasonable interpretation? Probably not. So then I remind myself, okay, what are some other interpretations of why I haven't heard from her? Well, okay. Maybe her battery died halfway through the day yesterday and she didn't get it charged up till she plugged it in. When she got home, she made her dinner, took the dogs out, and she went to bed. Okay, there's an explanation. Another explanation could be, I know that she struggles with her own kind of issues and maybe she's having a really sad day, right? Or maybe she got in an argument with her friend. Who knows? Whatever. Maybe it's just something personal going on with her. And I bring that up because it's important to kind of come out of ourselves. I don't know about you, but for my borderline, I personalize. I try to not do this, but I often personalize. If there's an issue or something, I must be the reason. So if I haven't heard from someone, it's because they hate me. And not because they're tired, they're busy, they're at work, they're going through a crisis, someone died in the family, right? So what do I do now? Well, I have to wait, don't I? I have to wait and I have to see how it plays out. And I'll say I'm a lot better about the waiting it out and not trying to go down, last night I tried to go down this route. my mind tried to take me down this, you're a loser, no one's gonna love you, you're gonna be alone, why are you so old, why are you still having these problems? And I was like, hey, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I don't know that. I'm a good person. I'm a great business owner. I take really excellent care of people's dogs. People really like me. And if she has a problem with a report card or something, well, sorry, you're going to have to take care of your own issue with that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, lie to clients so I hope that they like me because I'm bullshitting them. I want them to like me because I'm telling them the truth. So I had to remind myself, like, first of all, you don't know all the facts about why you haven't heard from her. You're going to have to wait to see how it plays out, which is hard to wait. And you're going to have to remind yourself that while I have the tendency to worry that it's something personal that I've done to someone else, that I don't necessarily know that. So it still sucks to wait. And the not knowing part, that area of gray, I think is hard for those of us with impulse problems to sit and wait on. So anyway, I'll bring you an update on how this plays out, but I wanted to kind of share my experience. I do these videos, and while I'm a lot more effective at handling certain situations, and I've mastered a lot of these skills, and I perform better than I have 5-10 years ago, I still struggle with some of these things, and things like worry and self-worth, they're very much prevalent, anger and the shame that comes with anger. So I wanted to share this with you, remind you that it's okay to go through these things. And I'd love to hear your feedback, and please like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Bye.